Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. I was going to do like my horrors like separately, but there's quite a few and my light bulb bust and it's an awkward positioning of the room, so I'm just gonna like go through in like side view kind of style. Please forgive me if my voice is a bit funny, I've got a sore throat. Well, but I'm gonna go. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 and a quarter shelves of horrors. So I'm just gonna get started anyway. But 28 days later, 28 weeks later, 30 Days of Night 2 this special edition, 30 Days of Night Dark Days, 1408, which is a really good horror film, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, the Nightmare on Elm Street collection of all, what's the Ultimate Collector's Edition, so this is all the 7 different films. My film's going away. I've got like an OCD. They're going to be in alphabetical order, but I do them in these weird ways. Like, for example, the remakes will pretty much go first before, like, because they're obviously the remake of the so of the first. So, this one actually says a Nightmare on Elm Street. So it'll go that one, then it'll go them, like next to it. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've done the same. I'll show you example. It's not horrors, but I'll show you example. Like, I've got Prometheus, Aliens, then Predators. Now, Predators aren't nothing to do with Alien, but it's just not, I just wanted to have the whole collection together, so I put Prometheus before Alien, and then have them all like in a row there. Because I know people who separate them and stuff. I like having the whole collection, so it's kind of dodgy that way. But yeah, so anyway. This is actually horror slash thrillers kind of thing. There's some that you might not agree with, but it's just what I know of. Perfect Getaway with Thor, well, Chris Hemsworth, Mila Jovovich, Timothy Olyphant. I don't know everything. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. Amityville Horror Ryan Reynolds. This I bought from a charity shop for like 10p. It's American Werewolf in London. So horrible. I was just bored. You know, 10p. So, Assault of Darkness with Vinnie Jones. Awake with Hayden Christensen, Jessica Alba and Terrence Howard. Really good film. Really good twist to that film. Black Xmas. See, this is probably what I won't agree with. But I'll check, before I put any films on my shelf, I always do like a kind of category check. And this came up under this, so that's why it's here. And that's Sir Hugh the Freight Vampire's Assistant. So it doesn't seem like a horror film, I know, but when I type out what genre it is, it comes up under horror. The Collector. I want to get the collection. Constantine, 2-disc edition. The Covenant. Well, the majority of my DVDs are second-hand, like from Cash Converters or CX, so they're not going to be, like, the cases aren't in the best conditions, but I always make sure that I keep the discs like really good. Like I always pay to get them. If they got scratched, I always pay to get them like fixed and stuff. Creep, The Crow, Wicked Prayer, which is my favourite version of The Crow. Cry Wolf with Jared Padalecki. Yeah. I guess I have to use my other hand now because arm's getting quite tired. The Dark, which has got Sean Bean in it. Dark Descent. Darkness Falls. Oh, stupid. Dawn of the Dead. The remake, which is actually really good. It's got the guy from Medium in it. Deadly Species. The Descent 2D Special Edition, The Descent Part 2, Devil, Doomsday, Dorian Gray, I think it's the original Dracula film, Dreamcatcher, Edward Scissorhands, Elevator, Episode 50, which is a crap film, the original Sam Raimi's Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead 3, The Army of Darkness, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and The Exorcist, the version you've never seen. Alright, I'm pretty much just going to stop the video. I'm going to try and do this a different way because this is obviously not working. So I'm going to do this differently, so I'll be back in a second. Hello YouTube, as you can see I'm kind of having a lazy day today. Not well. Got my dressing gown on. As snug as a bug in a rug. Yep. Okay, so continuing on where we left off with The Exorcism of Emily Rose, you got sorry about the glare, to try and just Exorcist the Beginning. Try to find places to put them in. Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, which I thought The Exorcist Begins or Beginning is, but never mind, I was wrong. Final Destination, it's a really good film. Final Destination 2, it's another really good film. Final Destination 3, the 2-disc Thrill Ride edition. It wasn't a bad film. I think number 1 and 2 was better. Number 3 was just taking it too far. Final Destination 3D. I've not watched the blue and red 3D. I refuse to watch that. I wanted the 3D Blu-ray to see what that looks like, but it's not good, but it's not bad. It's quite funny. It's funny more than anything else. Final Destination 5. I didn't like this one at all. It's a horrible film. Horrible film. Then we've got Stephen King's The Firestarter with Drew Barrymore as a young kid, which is freaky. She looks evil. She looked more evil in this than she didn't need to. Well, that's the whole point, but still. Then we've got Flatliners, which is a very good classic horror film. Well, I think more of a thriller. You got Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon. Never know that guy's name, but he's in a Bicentennial Man and 3 to Tango. He's quite a funny guy. There you got a weird film that I bought from Poundland, actually, because Poundland's starting to do like normal DVDs for quite cheap now. Well, for quite cheap for Poundland. See, I told you, I've got no clue what I'm saying. Anyway, it's Flight of the Living Dead. Outbreak on a Plane. I've not watched it, and the reason I've not watched it is because look at this. Look at that. I was bored. I was wasting money. Then you got the original Frankenstein, which I quite like. I like the original Frankenstein. Then you've got Bride of Frankenstein, which is also cool. Then we've got Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with, I think, Robert De Niro, Helena Bonham Carter, and I always forget that guy's name. Is it Kenneth Branagh? No, don't think that's him actually. Never mind. But it's got the guy who plays Lockhart from Harry Potter. I really hate that guy. Other than El Dorado, I like The Road to El Dorado. Franklin, which is a really good British kind of horror / thriller. It's really interesting. I quite like this. Yeah, it's a really good British film. We rarely do good movies. It's only at rare occasions that we do. I think this is probably one of my favourite horror films. Freddy vs. Jason. It's so funny. It's not even a horror, it's more comedy. But Freddy in this film he's much funnier than he is in Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's just I can't even explain how good that one is. I like that. Then we've got the remake of Friday the 13th, which was terrible. Jared Padalecki, yeah, again. I like Jared Padalecki, Supernatural. I like him in House of Wax, The Cry Wolf, and a bunch of other horror films. I didn't mind this film too much. It's just, it's not. I can't really say too much about it because I don't want to really. A comedy horror, yeah, again, really good film. Watched this when I was quite young, and that's The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. And it's just, the weirdest thing is, I'm pretty sure that the bad ghost in this is Biff from Back to the Future, and if it is, then that just makes it much better because it's like they're using the cast of Back to the Future. But it's a great film. It's hilarious. It's got some creepy bits, but it's pretty good. Then probably my most favourite horror film of all time, and that's the original Fright Night. I absolutely love this film. I'm watching it when I was quite young. It's the only, I think it was the first horror film I ever really watched, and I laughed throughout the majority of it because I can't, I've not watched it for a long time. You know, I just remember how much laughter I had throughout the film. I think it's because the people looked too fake, and I kept like asking my dad as a kid, like, why is that person running around pretending to be on steroids? And he just like kicked me out of the room and grounded me for a week. Although it is a good film, you should watch it compared to this one. It was 5p at a charity shop, so I picked it up. I only like David Tennant in this. The only reason I like this is David Tennant, because he's hilarious. It's not a great film, or horrible interpretation of a great horror film. Ghost Ship, I quite like this film. It's definitely scary. It's got its parts. There's something about the I think the woman's wearing a red dress, and like she's luring the guy to the elevator, and then like she's got no like, I think she's showing her boobs off to the guy, and like he's getting like tempted to go, and he goes towards him and falls down an elevator shaft. It's actually really cool. Ghost tricks him into killing himself. Matthew Broderick in this version of Godzilla. I've never actually watched it. All I've heard is bad opinions on it and stuff, and I've never actually given it a watch, so I can't say too much about this. I'm gonna probably watch it at some point just to give my own view on it, because I probably like it. I like King Kong, so I'll probably like this. But then I watched a review about this one, and apparently this is worse than that one. Apparently Godzilla's only in this one for like 15 minutes, and throughout that time it's not even him. It's like other scenes around him, kind of thing. So I wasted £10 on that for no reason, really. Gothica, a really, really good kind of psychological thriller film. Robert Downey Jr., Penelope Cruz, Halle Berry. It's really good, really twisted. It's a nice little story. Then we've got, let me see, sorry. Yeah. Grave Encounters. I liked the first Grave Encounters. Yes, I was naive when I first watched it. I genuinely thought it was real. I think a lot of people done the same with Paranormal Activity, which I also did with the first one, because it's so well done that you can't believe it's fake. When you find out it is, you kind of go, that's kind of disappointing. I wanted it to be real. It's kind of sad, really, isn't it? I didn't want the people to be haunted by a ghost and stuff like that, because that's kind of mean. But you know, I wanted that realism. But yeah, no, the Grave Encounters, the first one was amazing, a brilliant story, filmed very, very well. Really enjoyed the first Grave Encounters. Second one, not so much. The ghosts were too fake, the story was too fake, and the portal at the end was too fake, and no. The Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar. I liked the first Grudge. It was really interesting. I had a lot of fun watching this growing up. It was not scary. People go like, oh, the Grudge girl was scary and the Ring girl was scary. They're not scary. They're just a very, very angry woman on her period who has just realised that, you know, just her life is just getting worse. That's pretty much it. It's just like, it's that time of the month again, I'll go kill some people. That's it. But it's really good. The Grudge 2 wasn't so good. It was a stupid version of definitely for Sam Raimi as well. It wasn't great at all. I did not like the Grudge 2. I'm not even going to say too much about it. Grudge 3 I enjoyed more than the first one. It sounds quite evil. I got scared at the beginning of this one because of the boy in the cell. But the bit where the credits are coming up, if you haven't seen this, like obviously, if you've not seen anything to do with like these films, just probably skip past them. But the bit where the credits and the guy is like drowning them, and he picks up the cat, drowns the cat, and throws it against the wall. I don't mean to laugh at that, but it's so funny. It's like, douche. But yeah, no, this is a really, really good film. I really enjoyed this one. A lot more of an interesting story as well. Like it was, well, obviously you expect it when it's got the Grudge on it. You expect the girl to come out, but you didn't expect the way things happened in that film. So I quite enjoyed that. Talking of remakes and yeah. It's the Halloween. Unfortunately, I didn't have an actual slip. I had to get this one printed, but I had the disc. When Blockbuster was closing down, there was only a bunch of loose discs for like 15p each, so I bought a bunch of discs and ended up getting this one. But I done the sleeve's still pretty good, so it still looks alright. But anyways, Halloween Uncut with by Rob Zombie. I prefer the original Halloween, but this one had more of an interesting story because this one kind of in the first one. It just shows a little boy who's walking around in a little clown outfit. He just kills his sister for no reason, kind of thing. Whereas in this one, it shows more towards how and why he was sadistic and what caused it to happen. And I quite interested here. It was more of a softcore porn than a horror, but it had more detail to its story. I quite like that. I really did like that. It had much more of an interesting story. Yet again, no. They've copied the Jason Voorhees story about the... Oh, I'm not even going to explain. You guys know what I mean. If you've seen that one, you know. But yeah, right, going on to the Halloween collection. It's not the full collection. It's got Halloweens 1 to 5. You've got Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I think it's Season of the Witch. Seasons of... I don't know. Let me check. Yeah, Season of the Witch, yeah. Then you've got Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, and 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I've not seen the lot 4 or 5. I've only seen 1, 2, and 3. 3 was a horrible, horrible, horrible film. 2 was reasonably okay. Number 1 still probably the best out of the actual collection. But then I also have Halloween H2O, Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers, and Resurrection. I've seen H2O. I quite enjoyed that one. I've seen The Curse of Michael Myers. I didn't enjoy that one too much, but it was okay. And Resurrection I refuse to watch because of the fact... Who is he again? I keep forgetting his name. Busta Rhymes. No. Okay, then we have... Yeah, again, in the same kind of thing. I've got Hannibal Rising. I've not watched. Apparently really bad reviews. Apparently not a Hannibal film. Not a good film at all. So I hope I still watch it, but probably won't enjoy it. Red Dragon, which is probably the according to me was like it goes Silence of the Lambs then this in a way. Like I know this is before Silence of the Lambs, but apparently in good film it goes Silence of the Lambs then this. Yeah, there's quite a few good famous people in this. Obviously, Anthony Hopkins, you've got Edward Norton, Ralph Fiennes, Harvey Keitel, Emily Watson. and Philip Seymour Hoffman, so it's meant to be a really good film. I've not seen it. I want to. I'm probably going to watch it, though. I watched this for the first time, starting to land the other day, and I've never seen it before, and I watched it the first time. I didn't like it. It was enjoyable, but I didn't like it. I've always been a guy that hates anything to do with men who mistreat women. I've always hated that. Even though it's a good film, I've always grown up to completely despise them kind of people. And there were some scenes in this that I totally didn't agree with, and the fact that they should not have put in a movie, but I guess other people disagree. It's still a good movie, it's just I didn't like certain parts. That's my opinion. And then obviously Hannibal, which I've yet again not seen. I've got to try and watch them all at some point soon. I do want to get through them all. This video is going to take a long time to do. Then we've got Hansel and Gretel with Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton. Yeah, but anyway, Jeremy Renner, we all know him. He's from Bourne Legacy, Avengers, The Town. And then you've got Gemma Arterton, which I've only ever seen her in Clash of the Titans. I don't know what else she's in. She's probably in a few more better films than that. But that's all I know she's in. But yeah, this is a really good film. I did really enjoy this version of Hansel and Gretel. Really kick-ass movie. I mean, I know I want to get the 3D version because it looks really interesting. Like, I watched it and really enjoyed it, so I guess the 3D would look even better. We've got The Haunting, which has Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson, and Lily Taylor. It's actually, I quite like this film. I think it's a remake. I'm pretty sure it's a remake of another film. But it's still a really interesting film. You know, you get the pendulum scene with Owen Wilson. Also, look at this good picture here about that's Lily Taylor, who's like sorry about the glare. Like she's on the bed. The bed's come to life and like pinning her down. That's really cool. Yeah, it's a really good film. Really good horror film. I quite enjoyed that one. Hide and Seek, amazing horror / thriller with Robert De Niro and Dakota Fanning. Really interesting film. I'm pretty sure no one expected this twist. No one expected the story and how good it would be and how amazing it was planned out. I quite enjoyed this film. Probably out of my top 20 horror films, this would probably be like 19 or 18. But it's still really, really good. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you do. It's an amazing film. Then we've got Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon. I absolutely love this film. This was when PlayStation 2 came out, we got it on a day. When you get it on the day, you get I think 4 games and 5 films, like 5 DVDs, and that's when DVDs first got created. And because it was like the special bundle, like it was like the pre-order bundle that you pay for it, and then you get the first few releases of DVDs that come out plus. And I think it was this, Matrix, Lord of the Rings, and 2 other films. I can't remember what them ones were. But this was one of the ones that came with the bundle, and yeah, we're talking ages ago. And look, it even says here in the bottom, compatible with PlayStation 2. Yeah, so it was really good. I love Kevin Bacon. His films are always amazing. Probably my second most favourite horror film has Kevin Bacon, which is somewhere in this rows. But anyway, Hollow was a great film. We all know what Hollow was about. It's a scientist trying to create invisibility, and it worked. But they were only testing on animals, like a big gorilla, and then Kevin Bacon had to be selfish kind of man and try and test on himself. And yeah, really good film. Then we got Hollow Man 2 with Christian Slater. I've not seen this. I tried watching this. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't fun. It wasn't interesting. It didn't capture my mind, so I refused to watch anymore. House at the End of the Street with Jennifer Lawrence. She's an amazing actress. This is also an amazing film. I watched this. I remember when I watched this actually. All I know is at some point I watched it and it was really interesting. I didn't expect that film. There's got the boy from Pacifier, the one who does the play with Sound of Music. House of Wax. Oh, I love that slipcover. That's so cool. Like the wax is dripping. It's awesome. House of Wax. Really enjoyed this film. I'm so happy that Paris Hilton got killed. About time someone did it. But anyway, great film, great horror film. This is probably one of the films that if you watched in the dark on your own, you would be paranoid about everything, especially if you're a collector and you've got a bunch of figures and posters and stuff, because you'd be looking around kind of like, yeah, it's a really good film. You know what? House on a Haunted Hill. Yeah, I think this is also another remake, but it's got a Jeffrey Rush. It's got Jean Grey in it. Stupid bloody Blockbuster with all the stickers. Look at this. Blockbuster was closed now, and they just have all these stickers on the back and stuff. It's so horrible. Anyway, it's a great film. It's also got James Masters in it for like 5 minutes at the beginning. We all know James Masters from Buffy and Angel. One second. Sorry about that. I got a phone call from a very weird person called Jinky. Asked me would like to take a survey about feet. Anyway, back to the collection video. Howling 3. Not much to say about that. Sorry. I, Frankenstein. A lot of people seem like they didn't enjoy this film. I really enjoyed this film. I did not like Aaron Eckhart. I hated the actor. I hated him in The Dark Knight as Two-Face. I sort of liked him in Battle Los Angeles. I didn't know whether I should because his character wasn't persuasive enough for me. But in this, it was incredible. I really enjoyed it. I loved the way he did on the angel gargoyles. The only person I'm annoyed about is Bill Nighy because he's in everything now. But other than that, it's a really amazing film. I really enjoyed that one. I want to watch that in 3D if it's good. If anyone's seen it in 3D, just put a comment down below and let me know if it's good or not. Because I don't want to waste money on it. Sorry, my throat's quite dry. But I don't want to waste money on it if it's going to be crap. Anyway. I Am Legend. CGI, terrible. Script. Well, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a great film. Touching story. My favourite bit is Fred. If you've seen this movie, you'll know what I mean. I couldn't stop laughing. The Fred scene is awesome. It. There are a lot of movies I do that too, by the way. Identity, I love this film. Great twist, great story. It's one of those films that really just, in your mind, it's just, like you watch it and you go, oh wow, what? Huh? Kind of thing, it's like. But it's really good. You're John Cusack. I'm trying to see all the names. Yes, it's really. Yeah. It's confusing, not all the names on the back, so I don't know how to say. But yeah, if you want to watch a really good, like, mind-twisting film, that one's that one. Right, so I'm going to stop this bit and I'm going to go on to the next shelf. Hello YouTube, I'm back. Basically, this is going to be quite weird now because I've cut the video. It's going to come back with, hey YouTube. Anyway, continuing on from the last bit, we've got The Illusionist. I've not actually seen it. That's what I'm saying. I've heard reviews. I've not. Jason X, really good film. Quite funny. Not really scary. The reason this was next to Friday the 13th is because I've got none of the other Friday the 13th movies. I don't really want to have. It's hard to explain. When I get more, I'll put the whole set together. Kill Bill 1 and 2. I class these more action than horror, but apparently these are meant to be horrors, so. But they are good, regardless of whatever they are. They are still good films. This is quite a big collection now of, just give me a second. She'd kill me if she knows I've got her in the shot. She'd absolutely kill me if she found out I got her in the, video. Doesn't want to be. Anyway, King Kong Classic 4 DVD collection. It's got the original 1933 classic, the 1933 colorized version, It Was a Beauty Killed the Beast, King Kong vs Godzilla, which is very cheesy but very awesome, and King Kong Escapes. So you've got all four of those in this lovely box set, which I should really just do a plain review about the box set, but I'm going to do it now instead. So that's the front, spine and back. Then you've got the inside, nice artwork here, King Kong, nice artwork there. And it does this lovely thing where it kind of folds up into the Empire State Building. You've got King Kong climbing up on the booklet kind of thing. But if you don't like that, you could easily just do that and make it look more interesting. But yeah, so it's actually quite interesting, quite a nice design box set. Got this for like £2, brand new as well, which is really amazing. It's hard to find something so good for brand new. Like £2 brand new, so I was quite happy about that. Then we've got the 2-disc collector's edition of King Kong, the Peter Jackson version with Jack Black and Adrian Brody and Naomi Watts. Really good film. I'm not going to do this to all of them, but it comes with a nice collector's booklet, and it also came with this nice little kind of film cell, if you can see that. It's really cool. I quite enjoyed that. Apparently it wasn't meant to come with that, but yeah, when I opened up the case it was in there, so I reckon someone must have got a special thing and just put it in with the DVD. That's still pretty awesome. Yeah, I know that I should have put the remake before the original for this one. It's just this one has a nice box set, so I don't know. You guys put in the comments below how you think I should have the box set. Then I bought the deluxe extended edition of King Kong, the Peter Jackson one, which comes with the 3 cases. You've got this one, which is film part 1, film part 2, and then the bonus disc, which is quite nice. I got that one for about 50p, which is pretty good. Then we've got the other remake of King Kong with Jeff Bridges, Jessica Lange and Charles Grodin. Not seen this one, I want to, it looks interesting. And then you've got the second one to this one, which is King Kong Lives, about Kong and Lady Kong, which also sounds quite interesting. I really want to watch those. Then we have The Krays, another really good British film about these 2 British mobsters. The Krays brothers. You got Ronnie and Reggie Kray. They were born in Bethnal Green, which is my hometown. I love Bethnal Green. It's my area. But yeah, so it's really cool. They're from the east side of London, and they're proper Cockney lads. They like telling you how it is and all that stuff. It's really good, really gruesome film. They're absolutely mental, but such a great film. They're actually twin brothers as well. Yeah, Gary Kemp and Martin Kemp. That's it. Really good film. Then we've got these 2 films, which is Bram Stoker's Legends of the Mummy, Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy 2. Yeah, but anyway, I didn't like this one very much, but I do enjoy this one. Very cool. Stupid teenage kids acting like teenagers get murdered by a mummy. Why not? That's what every teenage dream is. You know, go to a house party on your own in the dark and then get killed. Why not? Then, actually, my fiance pointed this out to me. Actually, I'm really happy about this. She actually showed me this in the shop we was in, and funny thing is like £1, and that is the Last Exorcism Part 1 and Part 2. Nice design for the front though, it's really cool. But then you've got Last Exorcism Part 2. I've seen the first one. I did not like the first one. It wasn't scary. It wasn't anything like that. Number 2 looks like it's going to be either better or it'll be worse. Right, next film is Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I used to have the proper version of this, like the bigger case version, but my fiance didn't want her thin one, so I swapped to make her happy. Either way, it's still a good film. I don't care what case design's in. It's about the Headless Horseman. This was a good film. It was okay. This one wasn't actually scary. It was more annoying. I didn't like the guy who played Ichabod Crane. But then you got Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci in the Tim Burton Sweeney Todd, which was a lot more gruesome, which I preferred. You also got Christopher Walken in this, which is good. Johnny Depp in this is yet again hilarious. For horror films, they don't try and make them funny. I think it's the bit where he sees the Headless Horseman, and he's like tucked under the blinking. It's a horseman. Headless. Yeah, why not? I'd pass out too if I saw a guy riding a horse with no head. It'd be scary. Then we got Legion. Then we got Let Me In. Sorry about Legion, I didn't like it. Yeah, you got Let Me In with Chloe Grace Moretz. A really good film. I like this film more than I do the original Let the Right One In. I'm not going to watch the Let the Right One In. I never will. I own it because I thought it was this one and I picked up that one by accident, but I'm never going to watch it. And the reason I'm not going to watch this, I think I've explained this in a previous video before, is my friend was talking to me about that film. And he told me that you see a part, you see a little girl's area. And as soon as he told me that, I said that's absolutely disgusting. I refuse to point blank watch it because that should not be in a film and it should not have been filmed at all, and it's gross regardless of what the rules are in whatever country. That's still wrong. So I refuse to watch it. I've had it for over 2 years and it's just been on my shelf. I've not watched it once. I refuse. It's horrible. But that version of the film is awesome. Because I've already talked about it, I'm not going to show it, but it's there. But I refuse to watch that one. Then we've got a classic kind of horror film. It's not really horror, it's more comedy again. But, you know, it's the original Little Shop of Horrors. Jack Nicholson as the crazy guy getting his teeth done at the dentist. I prefer the Rick Moranis version with Steve Martin and Bill Murray. You can't beat Bill Murray. Bill Murray's awesome. Right, now on to the next lot of films. We got Long Time Dead. It's a good horror film about a bunch of college kind of kids doing a Ouija board, and they come across a demon called a Jinn, which means a fire demon. It's really cool. It's really good and it's quite an interesting film. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, get it. Then we got another classic horror film kind of thing, which is Lost Boys. Kiefer Sutherland in this, young, and I think it's Corey Haim in this. Corey Haim. It's a good. I love this film. I enjoy those. I used to watch that one all the time as a kid. Then we got Mama. Guillermo del Toro, who done Pacific Rim, which, God, I love that film. But anyway, talking about horrors. Yeah, so got Mama, great film, interesting. It's quite an exciting film. It was scary. It did push me off my seat a little bit, which is good. I like that from horror films. If they don't push me off my seat, they're not worth watching. Psychological thriller / horror, brilliant film now that's coming up. It's probably, I think this is number 5 of my top 10 favourites, and that is Mindhunters. You've got James Todd Smith, Johnny Lee Miller, Catherine Morris, Val Kilmer, and Christian Slater. It's a really interesting film. Sorry, it's that bit. It's broken on the case. But yeah, it's a really good film about these police officers and people who work with police officers. They all go onto this island to do a kind of training course, but it turns out the training course is actually real kind of thing. It's really exciting, really good film. Really want an interesting horror kind of film to watch. That's one of them. Then we've got Stephen King's Misery with James Caan and Kathy Bates. I've not seen it. I've just been told it's hilarious. Now, I've not seen this one, so I can't say too much about it, but the original My Bloody Valentine came out in 1981. So I've not seen this one. I want to watch this one, but I've seen the remake of it, and that was quite an interesting one. I actually watched that one in 3D recently, and that was pretty good. So yeah, it was quite enjoyable. But yeah, so My Bloody Valentine, that one. My Bloody Valentine 3. I love that kind of case. It's not even a slip. Look, someone just put the lenticular and stuck it on the case, which I quite like. I quite like that instead. Yeah, so that's really awesome. It's really awesome. 2-disc special edition, but it's not. It's 1 disc. It's double-sided. I don't know why they did that. Then we've got Night of the Living Dead, which I quite enjoyed. It's quite a good film. By the way, I'm looking for a horror film that I haven't seen since I was a kid. I can't find it anywhere. But if you've seen the old kind of zombie films, if you've seen it, you'll know what this line's from. Get the damn screwdriver out of my head. I can't remember which one it's from. All I know is it's from one of my favourite horror zombie films. I quite liked it. The Omen. A lot of films like that I just don't like talking about. I've not seen this. It's 1 hour photo by my most favourite actor of all time, Robin Williams. I'm just... Oh, I really need to see this. I only picked it up recently, so I've not actually had time to watch it. I've been watching quite a few other films. But I do want to watch it. I'm probably going to watch this tomorrow. I'm hoping to watch it tomorrow. It just... People have told me the story, like not the whole story, but the gist of it. And it sounds really interesting. So I'm gonna watch this tomorrow, and hopefully I'll probably do a review about this. If anyone wants to see a review about that, my opinion of it, just let me know in the comments below, and I might do a video about it after I've watched it tomorrow. In my top 10 of horror films, One Missed Call. A lot of people didn't like this. I really enjoyed this. The whole story and the whole idea of it was just amazing. It was an intelligent film. Then we've got another one in my top 20. Open Graves. It's the horror version of Jumanji. If anyone's seen this, you'll know what I mean. It's about a board game. And yeah, stuff happens. It's pretty much Jumanji, just the gruesome horror version. Right, another film in my top 20 is The Orphan. I absolutely love this film. It's so funny. You know, the little girl is creepy. Creepy as hell. I know, it's just... But it's a great film. It's enjoyable. It is also quite scary at some points. You don't expect a lot. Upcoming is another one of those films. I'm just going to say the name and then put it back, just to pre-warn you. The Others. I know a lot of people like that film. I can't stand it. I'm sorry. I didn't like it at all. Then at number 23 of Jim Carrey. Probably one of his most amazing films. I mean, it's not as amazing as some others, but it's still pretty good. It's nice to know that he could do this kind of a twisting psychological thriller. This and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind are 2 of my most favourite like psychological thrillers of his. Then we've got The Pact. I've not seen this, so I can't say too much about it, but it looks interesting. Paranormal Activity, I really enjoyed. Paranormal Activity 2 sucked. Paranormal Activity 3 is an abomination. Paranormal Activity 4 and 5 can go suck it. Yeah. Paranormal Ascendancy, a Poundland movie, but it's based on true events. And I actually checked up the description about this film, and it turns out a lot of the stuff in this film was a little bit dramatized, but the majority of it is true and stuff that was reported that happened. So I'm quite enjoying. I like the true life horrors because they mean more to me. Because knowing that shit's actually happened makes me more scared, and that's what makes me enjoy my horrors. Then we've got Paranormal Entity, which was I think filmed by the Van Dyke family. That's what came up when we watched it on Sky. It came up that it was directed by the Van Dykes. Really good, really gripping, really horrific. Chills definitely to the bone. This is more scary than Paranormal Activity. Definitely chills to the bone. Paranormal Entity 2 I've not seen. I want to watch it, so I'm hopefully going to watch it. But yeah, just a really interesting film, the first one is. Then we've got another really interesting psychological thriller slash horror called Pathology. It's got, says his name somewhere here, I think Milo Ventimiglia. He's one from Heroes. Pierre Petrelli, there we go, I'll just say that. Pierre Petrelli from Heroes. About a bunch of doctors who, they play a little game, like a group of like 6 or 5 doctors. One goes and kills someone, and the other doctors have to kind of guess, and it all goes kind of wrong from there. So it's pretty cool. Stephen King's Pet Sematary. It's a good film. I'm pretty sure this is the one that has Herman Monster in it, from the Munsters. I quite like that program. Piranha 3D. The Possession, great film. Wasn't as scary as people made it out to be. I mean, it even says on here somewhere, the scariest Exorcist film in years. No, it's not. It's nowhere near as scary as Exorcism of Emily Rose. But it's quite good. I quite enjoyed it. We've got Priest. By the way, I'm just going to pre-warn you when you see them. Stuff like Priest, stuff like Resident Evil, even the Twilights and the Underworlds are all in the horror section. And the reason that is because every time I typed up all these individual films and what categories they go under, the first thing that comes up on all the actual pages is horrors. So I've just put them there because that's where it says they're supposed to be. If you guys can tell me where they should really be, then, you know, please do, because they look horrible, and horrors is just, it's the only place that I've been told that they should go. But anyway, Priest is a really, really interesting film. You've got Paul Bettany? Yeah, Paul Bettany, Carl Urban, and obviously some other people. But it's actually a really interesting film. It was actually really well done. A John Carpenter film that I've never actually seen, called The Prince of Darkness. I'm probably never going to watch this, but if I ever do, I'll do something about it. Right, instead of just turning the camera off, I'm just going to go through. I've only got 1.25 shelves to do. It's already going to be a long video, so I might as well hurry up and do it now. Right, Prom Night. I thought it was quite an enjoyable film. I know my fiance hates it, and a lot of people hate it, but I think it's pretty good. Probably number 2 or 1 on my top horrors is Pulse. After watching this film, I refused to go near a computer and a phone for about a week. If you haven't seen a great horror in a while, watch Pulse. It really screws your mind. And I dropped the film. Quarantine. Reasonably good film. Film like Cloverfield and Blair Witch Project, but really interesting. I quite enjoyed it. Clive Barker's Rawhead Rex. Not seen it. Probably not going to see it. Yeah. By the way, I used to have all the Hellraiser films. I don't know what happened to those. They've been gone for a few good years. But if I ever get them again, I'll show them again. Anyway, we've got the Reanimator and Beyond the Reanimator. I've never seen these, so I can't do much of a review, but I got these both for 10p each. That's pretty good. Very interesting film with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Hilary Swank, and Christopher Lee by the Hammer House of Horror production. The Resident. It's really good, really interesting, and it's Hilary Swank. Just do all these as one video. We've got the Resident Evil quadrilogy, plus the 5th film, which came out afterwards. I like Resident Evil 1. I love Extinction. Extinction's probably the best film. But in my opinion, it probably goes 1, Extinction, Apocalypse, Afterlife, then Retribution. This one should never have been made. Afterlife, probably the same. But Extinction's definitely the best one out of all of them. I think, anyway. This is a triple pack, but I don't actually have the first 2 films in it because I already had them on separate DVD. I gave the first 2 to my friend, so I'm just going to show you the last film that's in this pack, and that's The Return. Really good film with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Quite an enjoyable film. Yeah. The Right with Anthony Hopkins. I've not seen this film. I've been told a lot of things about it. I was told a funny scene in this. If you haven't seen this, probably skip past this bit. But I was told there's a funny scene in this about where he punches a little girl in the face. I want to watch that. It sounds quite funny. Sounds quite sad, but funny. James Cameron's Sanctum. I love this film. It was done really, really, really well. Yes. I want to see this in 3D. I'm pretty sure it would look good. So let me know. These films I'm going to do as a set as well, because there's too many films I'm going to do as sets. Anyway, it's all 7 Saw films. I've got the first 3 in like the 2-disc collector sets, and then the others are all just like the extended versions of the film. I've not got the last one in the 3D because the 3Ds are red and blue crap, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather watch the 3D Blu-ray if I'm gonna crap myself. I'd rather do it to a really good 3D. But yeah, Saw was interesting for the first. The first one was amazing. The second one was just stupid, and then they all got worse from that point on. But you know, you gotta have them all. You can't just have one. Then we'll go to some original horror films from. When were these made? Shit, I don't know when these were made. Doesn't say. All I know is it's the Scanners trilogy. I watched this as a kid with my dad. It was a really, really, really interesting film. I've only ever seen the first one, but I'm gonna probably rewatch the trilogy at some point. But they all make the little picture of the guy from the front, from the first film. So I quite like that. It's quite a good set. Then we've got See No Evil with Kane. Yes, a lot of my films are the rental copies. That's because I'm a cheapskate and I like just buying them when they come out months later in like CEX or something. I am a cheap. I've got some new films that have come out recently that I buy on the day, but there's just some that I really don't want to waste too much money on. This is one of them. But no, it was okay film. It was alright. It's better than The Marine. We can all say that. Then we've got 7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. I didn't mind this film. It's not one of my favourites in my top 20, but it's reasonably okay. Then we've got another film in one of my top 20, and it's Shutter Island. Leonardo DiCaprio. I hated him growing up, but in this and in Blood Diamond and shit like that, it's really cool. I really love this film. Great, interesting twist on that. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you do. I've got 3 DVDs here that are like all related. The first 2 are practically the same film. The second one isn't. Basically, it's the Silent Hill. I got the for rental view copy, but then I bought this other version of Silent Hill, which comes with this nicer version of the front cover. So I got that instead. I don't know why I've got both. I'm weird. And then I've got Revelations. Silent Hill 1's much better than Revelations. But I watched this in 3D recently, and the 3D was awesome. So I'm quite happy about that. Next film I enjoyed until the end, and then the ending made me hate the film forever. And that is Sinister. The film was good up until the ending, and I just thought the ending was completely pointless and silly, so I refused to watch that ever again. The Sixth Sense with, I was going to say Bruce Lee then. Told you I'm tired. Bruce Willis, it's a great film. Haley Joel Osment, why not? It's not like we want to see more of that guy, huh? I'm joking, he was good in AI. I can give him that. Skin Deep. Poundland Horror. This film is not in my top 20, probably top 30 if possible. But it's really good. I quite enjoyed it. The story was amazing, and that is Smiley. I got this for a penny. 1 minute, please. Sorry about that. I got a phone call from someone called James from the compensation department. Weird people. Keep phoning all day. Keep getting random phone calls. Anyway. Smiley, great film. I really enjoyed it. The story was quite twisty. It was awesome. Samuel Jackson's Snakes on a Plane. It's got Keenan in it. Why not? It's good. I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Me too. Sorority Row. Not seen it, but a bunch of chicks killing each other. Why not? Hey, let's just enjoy that. Did I just say chicks? Ugh. God, that's horrible. Sorry, I did not mean to offend women. I don't refer to women as chicks or birds and shit like that. I actually call them what they are. That's a pain in the ass. I'm joking. I'm joking. Call them women, because that's what they are. Anyway, Stigmata. Patricia Arquette, Gabriel O'Brien, I don't know, Gabriel, and Jonathan Pryce. Yeah, it's a good film. This is probably, this is one of the films in my top 10 of most favourite horror films. And it is the one with Kevin Bacon I was talking about. And it's a Stir of Echoes. Really interesting film. Really enjoyed it. Kevin Bacon's arms looks quite dodgy when he's like doing the digging. But really interesting. This film used to keep me crying as a kid, which is awesome. I like horrors that make me cry. Then we got The Tattooist, reasonably good film. Wasn't as great as it could have been, but it was quite good. Another film that kept me quite afraid as a kid, and just by the case alone, the case alone does that. The film freaks me out with the case alone, and that's 13 Ghosts. That case is freaky, especially when you've got it next to your TV at night time, and the light's reflecting on the eyes. All you can see is his eyes doing that to you at night time. It's like shit. But it's really good film. Okay, next set is a quadrilogy. The only problem is I like putting the prequels in front of the first, but because labeling decided to be a bitch and put number 4 on it, I had to put it next to number 3, which makes it even more horrible. I don't class this one as a film. Anyway, I'll go through the prequel and then I'll show. The prequel is Tremors 4, The Legend Begins. This isn't a Tremors film. This is just a cheap film that they wanted to try and keep the franchise going and they couldn't work. So that doesn't count as an actual film at all. But then we've got Tremors with Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, which is really good. Really enjoyed this film. Watched it the other day again after all these years. It's still funny with Kevin Bacon. Oh, I enjoy it, especially when he does the stampede bit in there. Fuck you! And he kills the graboid. Really good film. 2 and 3, not so much. I don't want to review them ones because they're not really good films. A film that I bought for about £1, and I was going to watch it, but I refused to watch it because it's in Swedish, and I don't really fancy reading subtitles. Troll Hunter. I always like the slip. Then, got a really good classic here. Toxic Avenger. I've only ever watched this once, and I'm going to keep it that way. I'm sorry, but I am. Right, these are the films that I was... Twilight Saga. It took me forever to get them all on 2-disc. Special, limited, ultimate, fan, kind of editions. It took me ages to get them all on 2-disc. But yeah, I've got them. They're good films. I didn't like the ending of the last one. My favourite out of the Twilights is Eclipse. I also got this weird little documentary about the real world of Twilight. Destination Forks. I've not seen that. I don't really want to watch that. It was like a penny. So Unborn, really interesting slip. I really like how that kind of, how Jumby kind of pops up behind the woman. That's really creepy. See, it looks different when you're looking at it in the slip. It doesn't look so cool when you're looking at it on the camera, and you just, that was really awesome. Really good, interesting film. I really do like that film. Right, next one's a set. So, but you got the Underworld. Yeah, you got Rise of the Lycans, which is probably my favourite Underworld out of all of them. It sucks because it hasn't got Kate Beckinsale in it, and Kate Beckinsale just is awesome. But yeah, my favourite of the Underworlds. And you got Underworld, Underworld Evolution, and Awakening. I didn't like Awakening. It was a horrible version of Underworld. They should have stopped after Evolution, but they couldn't have done, because then Rise of the Lycans wouldn't have been made. Then you've got Vacancy and Vacancy 2. I liked Vacancy. I'm not watching Vacancy 2 because Vacancy 2 is probably just going to be a cheap ass knockoff. Just pick up these last few films, so I'm going to hold them and do these last ones. Van Helsing, really love this film. Yeah, again, Kate Beckinsale, Hugh Jackman. It's also got the guy from Sanctum and from Moulin Rouge, the one who plays the Duke. He's quite a cool dude. They got The Ward. My fiance showed me this film. fucking loved it. Awesome film by John Carpenter. Amazing psychological thriller, really fucked up storyline. It's amazing. What Lies Beneath? It was okay. Whiteout, I've not watched. A film that scared the crap out of me the first time I watched it, then the second time watching it, I just laughed. White Noise. With Michael Keaton. Good film, but it's not as scary anymore. White Noise 2, which is a totally different perception of the film. And it's also got the guy from Firefly, Serenity, and Buffy. And Castle. I shouldn't forget Castle. The original Wicker Man. With, I always forget his name. Christopher Lee. Edward Woodward. And Britt Eklund. Yeah. Then we've got the remake of The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage, which I quite enjoyed. Not the bees! Not the bees! No! The original Wolfman, which I've not seen, which I want to watch. But I quite enjoyed this version of the Wolfman. I really enjoyed this version of the Wolfman. You got Anthony Hopkins as the Granddaddy Wolf, and you got a Mr. Anderson as a police officer. Not Mr. Anderson. You got Agent Smith. That was the... Never mind. And then we got this cheap Poundland version of Wolfman, which you can only just see an eye and a bit of fur. I'm not seeing that. A film that I honestly hated, but yeah, I decided to buy it anyway because it looked good. Woman in Black. I hated Daniel Radcliffe until I watched Horns. I quite enjoyed Horns, but yeah, so it's an alright film. It's just not scary. Then we got The Zodiac with Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr. And it's quite nice. It's the 2 disc director's cut one, and it comes like a nice kind of slip, and it comes with this nice like kind of case kind of designed like an envelope. Discs are quite boring really, but yeah. Well, anyway, that is actually the ending to my horrors now, which is pretty good because I don't want to do any more. It was quite a few. I know that there could have been more, but I'm glad there's not. Yeah, so it's going to be all these different switches in the videos and all that crap. It's just phones ringing and difficult positions of holding the phone. I'm using an iPhone 6 Plus to film this video because I don't want to buy a camera. But yeah, so, you know, like, if you can, if you want to, hopefully you'll like this video. Hopefully I'll get some more subscribers. Comment down below what you think. I probably don't have a lot of amazing films that a lot of people are going to like. Probably not the best collection on YouTube. It's probably not even close to what could be a best collection. It's just... the majority of the films are ones that I really enjoy. There's some there that I've just bought and never going to watch, and there's some that's there that I just don't particularly like. But anyways, it made me happy to get all these films. I've got tons and tons more films to show. I've got different categories. I've got my heroes, I've got my sci-fi, I've got my medieval sci-fi, and then just my medieval. I've got my action, I've got my comedies, my musicals, my kids, sci-fi kind of films, series, chick flicky kind of rom-com kind of things. So just put down in the comments below what kind of video you'd like me to do next, what category you'd like me to do next, and preferably I will do that for you. I want to do more videos. I want to get more people to enjoy my videos. I did make a Predator 3D review, but I've got to redo it because I watched it back today before I was going to upload it and it looks like shit. So I'm going to redo it. I am going to redo it. Also, I wanna start doing my Gollum impression. But in order to do that, I kind of need people to want me to do it. So in this comment below, if you watch this video, and when you watch this video, if you really enjoyed this video and you wanted me to do it, then please put in the comments below that you want me to do it, and I will. Yeah, so this is it. I will see you later. Goodbye, YouTube.